So, why am I talking to you today? Well, I thought it's March. It's the start of the river season. It's the start of the trout season. And all of us fly fishers are quite busy this time of year, getting everything all ready, prepped ready for the season. This coming weekend, we've got an event at Colliford up on Bodmin Moor with the Fluff Chuckers. Said it right this time as well. So I've just spent the evenings getting a few bits ready, checking over my gear from last year. So I've cleaned my line, made sure that's not got any memory where it's been stored on the spool, checked my leaders, checked all my flies, checked all my hooks are nice and tight. Excuse the noise of the cart's about to go past. Thank you. Checked my net, and then I've checked my wading boots, checked that the laces aren't going to snap when I do them up once I get to the bank. Check the eyelets for the laces, check the soles, because quite often where they're not used over the winter months, the rubber can dry and they can start to separate from the boots, and that's what happened to my old Vision ones. But these guideline boots I've got are quite good, and there's no signs of any damage or wear on them from the last couple of seasons. And then I just want to check over my waders. So I thought what I'd do is go through with you very briefly the process that I do for checking my waders for holes. Now there's a number of different ways that various people say you can check them. There's some ridiculous ones like going to a dark room and shine a torch through to find the pinpricks. Don't do that. There's other people that say stick on a pair of blue jeans and go wading, and then you'll find the wet patches on your jeans and then you can cover up the holes. Don't do that. The best and tried method, and it's actually a very similar method to how we industrially test aircrew immersion suits, is really simple. So I use one product and you can buy it for pennies. I think I got mine on Amazon, but you can get it in your local hardware store, Screwfix, places like that you can get it. And that is rubbing alcohol. That's 70% isopropyl alcohol. Now what this does on the Gortex of the waders, I'll show you very shortly. Any pinpricks, holes, particularly where you're going to find most of the damage is around the shins and on the knee thigh area, where we're walking through bracken, bramble, place like that, when you're in fast flowing rivers and you've got sand and debris hitting against your legs permanently. So that's the sort of areas you want to concentrate to try and find any damage that will allow you just to repair that. Now for the repairs, I'll show you in a minute, and I'll give you a little tip for what we do use and how you can store that also. So my waders, so I've got a set of Sims tributary waders. This will be their 4th season. I had to do a bit of a repair, not last season but the season before, where my friend Ben and I were walking to a small river muck that we fish. It's a tributary to the Tamar, and I slipped ass over tit and split, I think I caught it on brambles, and actually put a split in the backside of the waders. You can see it there. Unfortunately it wasn't on the seam. Unfortunately, in my life as a survival equipment fitter, I've been trained to repair things on things like immersion suits. So all I'd done for that was, with the repair material that you get supplied with the waders from Sims, was cut a patch and then treated the tear first with some Aquasil, which is what I'll show you in a second. Applied the patch and then let that go touch dry, and then applied another coat of Aquasil over the top. Now touch wood, this will be its 2nd season in, and it's not giving me any jip whatsoever. It does look like I've soiled myself on the back of my waders, but I've got a dry bum, I don't care. So these are great waders. They're probably the bottom end in terms of expensive Sims waders, but they're a really nice, lightweight, durable set of waders. They're great for when I'm away travelling. They pack away dead small into my bag. Don't have to worry about them. In terms of wader care, if you use them in salt or brackish water, make sure you give them a good wash afterwards and get the salt out of all those fibres. Like I teach the guys in UK SARS, salt is probably our biggest enemy when it comes to material items like waders. Salt can crystallise and it will cause massive damage to the material. So make sure any salt and sand and debris gets washed out. So soak it, leave it for 10-15 minutes, get rid of that water in your bathtub, fill it up with fresh water, and then hang them to dry naturally. Don't use any head or hand dryers or anything daft like that. And then the neoprene socks, just make sure you lift the shin protectors, clean on the underside, clean all this out, and that will give you longevity to your waders. Excuse the truck. and that will just make sure that, because these aren't cheap, you know, even though these are the bottom end of the Sims expensive range, they're still a good couple of £100, and that's not a lot of money to not, it's a lot of money to not look after your items that will keep you warm and dry when you. The difference between a warm, dry pair of waders and a rubbish pair of waders is an hour on the bank fishing or 5 hours on the bank fishing catching fish, and that's the big difference. Dead busy this road, isn't it? So take your time and look after them. So what am I going to do for the start? So first of all, get the belt off, and it's dead simple. Turn them inside out. Hold the sock right at the very end. Don't pull the sock because there's a chance you'll damage the seam. Pinch it with your hand from inside and pull. Now, if I'm teaching you to suck eggs, I apologise, but for some people they don't know how to do this, and it is worth doing. So turn both legs inside out. Do do do. I need some funky lift music, don't I? As you can see, the sun is out. It's middle of March, and finally the wind is starting to drop. It's still a bit of an easterly wind. The wind is starting to drop, and there's actually some warmth in the air, but I've still got my jacket on. It's still not comfortable enough to not wear a jacket here in North Cornwall. Move the boat out of the way. So there we go, there's the waders inside out. So we've got the waders laid out on the table now. As you see, I've just put a clean dust sheet over the table just to protect the waders. And as I said, we're going to concentrate mainly on the shin and knee area, which again is where you're likely to catch brambles, bracken and fast moving debris through the water. So with your isopropyl alcohol, all we do is give it a just make sure it's on spray. So we've got it pumping, and we want a nice fine mist off this. If you're doing it outside and there's a bit of a breeze like there is today, just watch your eyes. And then I'm just going to work up methodically from the foot. And what this will do, by spraying this and rubbing it on, if there are any small areas that are pinprick damage, it will show up black where the Gore-Tex is damaged. If we find damage on the seams, potentially we could be snookered, but I'm not too worried because we have got a proper repair kit. And again, I'm quite confident to do that. So just spray it on, and then the reason I'm giving it a rub is just to allow it to get into the material. Don't worry about being over generous, it's isopropyl alcohol, it will just evaporate, especially when you're outside. And then just the area you've done, just have a quick inspection, quick butchers, quick gander. So I'll show you here, just there I've got a small dark thumbprint, a small area coming through which suggests there's a small pinprick there. So what I'd normally do is use either like tailor's chalk or just a coloured pencil just to mark that area. But I know where it is. I'm just going to put that at the point of it, and then I'm going to take, so this is the Sims Gore-Tex repair kit, and in there you get some patch repairs, sections of Gore-Tex. You also get a tube of Aquasil. This is great stuff. So this is new. So what I'm going to do is pinprick that, and then where that area is, I'm just going to wet it with a bit of saliva off my finger, and then just take a little small pinch of Aquasil there onto my pinky. That's all that's required. Looks like snot, doesn't it? And then over area, just very gently rub that into the area. Just a few small circles, and that will work it in. and then when you feel it tacky, stop rubbing, and that's that done. That's that repaired. So in the next 24 hours I'll leave these inside out, and this will just dry. Any other patches that we add will just dry up nicely. And again, stereotypically, that's where you expect to find it. So then it's the same again. And it looks like that's the only one I've got so far. So what I'll do now is I'll do the rest of the waders, both legs. So once I've got both legs done, I'll swap it over and do the backside. Check around your seat area. Obviously, you know, it's like when you sit and have a sandwich on a rock, they're the areas where you're going to get spiked in your backside basically. So check your bum area, check around the groin, and then the socks, there's not a great deal you can do with them. Find an obvious problem with the socks when you're out wading, then just leave them be. So I'm going to go ahead now, do the rest of the waders, find any more damage. But before I do go, so your Aquasil, it's expensive stuff, it's not cheap. And a little tip, once you've used it and you've broken that seal and you don't need it again, chuck it in the freezer, put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in your freezer, and you can defrost and reuse that. But the best way to defrost it is just put it in a bowl of hot water and let it thaw out, and you can do that multiple times and it will save your Aquasil. Little G's tip, it works, trust me. This hasn't been in because it's a brand new tube, but now once I've done this, guess what, it's going to go in the freezer. So anyway guys, have a great trout season, be safe on the banks, hope to see you maybe on a riverside, on a loch, on a lake. If you see me, say hello, I'll give you a sticker. And please guys, I haven't said it for a while, but please consider hitting subscribe if you haven't, hit the notification bell, like the videos, all helps to grow the channel. And don't forget to head to Facebook, check out the G's Tite Lines community page on there. A lot of guys had some really informative and humorous stuff on there. It's really worth a look. And also the Instagram, and I'm now on TikTok. I've crossed to the dark side and we're now on TikTok. So guys, stay safe, take lines, and we'll see you out there. Cheers.